There was a video that was put up by Above, Destiny 2's top 10 weapons of 2024. Now, I have not watched this video. No one spoiled this for me, but I do want to watch it today. And I want us to take some guesses. I actually want us to write down on a list what we believe the top 10 weapons of 2024 is. So I'm gonna bust out the paint. Talk to me, fellas. Talk to me. Top 10 weapons, no exotics. Okay, so no exotics on his list. We're gonna take some guesses. I'm gonna say Tinashe's. Tinashe's. Yeah. I'm gonna put that on the list. Let me play this game real quick. Lost Signal. Oh, hold up. You're right. Lost Signal. Ooh, multi-mock was good with kinetic trimmers under over. But look, only the most cultured people could appreciate such a thing. Chill and Hib. Okay. I've got Tinashe. Oh, dude, we gotta do it. I know it's an old weapon, but we gotta put up Edge Transit. Edge Transit, Lost Signal, Tinashe, Chill Inhibitor. 2 geos. All right, let's get a little bit. Midnight. All right, so this is where it gets weird because weapons change depending on the content that you're tackling and depending on the season. Right now, the best anti-barrier weapon in the game is a Randy. It's better than Hung Jury. Randy can roll with under, over, and kinetic trimmers, and it is by far the best. The same as last season, which was multi-mock. Multi-mock was the best weapon last season for barrier champions. Oh, that's a great one, though. You want to talk about a weapon, though, that's great for everything? Nullify. That archetype is just so damn good, man. So damn good. You think Aberrant Action is on this? Aberrant's pretty good. Yeah, Aberrant's pretty good. Mountaintop. Does Indebted Kindness count for this year, or does it count for last year? Because Indebted Kindness came out last year, but Multi-Mock came out last year. Randy came. That's right. I've got Randy on here too. Damn it, brother. Oh, Velocity Baton. Yeah. All right. Velocity. Hold on. The Call or Indebted Kindness? Which one? Okay. Get a poll on that. Let's get a poll on this. The vote is in. Everyone says The Call, and somehow The Call is better than Indebted Kindness. I know you can't see it. Hold on. Let me get me out the way real quick. The Call. This is your list. Let us see if we're correct. Now, this is the game we're going to be playing. If we get all 10 correct, we give away a Starforge PC to one random person in the stream. However, for every one we get wrong, 100 people will be banned. Merry Christmas, everybody.
As a looter shooter, it's natural for Destiny to produce an overwhelming number of weapons with the release of every DLC, season, episode, update, seasonal event, playlist rewards, raids, dungeons, and probably a dozen other sources that I'm missing. So now that it's December and the year's coming to a close, I thought it'd be fun to do a video covering the top 10 weapons of 2024. I did think about including exotics on this list, but with how many god tier exotics were actually introduced this year, I decided to let the legendaries shine on their own. But with that said, if you'd like to see an exotic list in the future, be sure to let me know down.
I would, man. I would actually like to see an exotic list. The problem is that things kind of like merge, right? Because it's like, because we're not accounting for what came out that year. Like, we're accounting for the meta. And so some things that start off really, really strong might have been nerfed, but it's like recency bias there. Like, you're going to be thinking of when it was or when it got nerfed versus when it was really, really strong.
Down in the comments below. We'll be reviewing everything from Season of the Wish all the way through Onslaught, Pantheon, the final shape, and ending with the most recent episodes. I'm Above, and if you enjoyed today's video, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into it. So let's kick things off with an honorable mention that just barely didn't make the list. First up, we have The Call. I know, this is a top 10 list, but with
it didn't make the top 10, fellas. Let's continue this list. This is our first honorable mention, The Call.
With how many people loved this weapon, especially during the Final Shape campaign, I just had to mention it here. This Strand rocket sidearm was introduced as a world drop from the Pale Heart and was the first rocket sidearm that can be used in the kinetic slot. Yep. There are so many good perks on this thing, including Demo, Lead from Gold, Beacon Rounds, and Slice in Column 1.
Became like the most used weapon. Y'all remember that shit?
Tricorn and Desperate Measures in Column 2. Before episode Revenant came...
Y'all remember the metrics? The Call was like the most used weapon in that top slot. But you know why, right? Everybody was running around double special, rocking The Call and Still Hunt. Y'all remember that shit?
Came out, this weapon would comfortably fit in the top 10 list, but with the release of new weapons that we'll mention later in the video and the inevitable power creep that happens over time, The Call just misses out on the top 10 weapons of 2024. Now it's time for the list.
Still good weapon.
At number 10, we have No Hesitation. This is a brand new support frame auto rifle that is truly the first of its kind, and it's all about supporting and healing your allies. This drops from the Pale Heart and is easily one of the most used.
You know, here's the problem, man. Here's the problem. Just like in every other game outside of maybe Marvel Rivals, no one wants to play support. You know what I'm saying? I hate No Hesitation, but let's be real on it from a unique perspective. It is very, very unique. Who uses that? No one. No one uses it. But he is right. It is extremely unique. It literally is the no die gun. But here's the problem. Even in the past, I've been like, okay, let's take someone who's not that skillful and say, listen, we're going to make you the healer. We're going to give you no hesitation. Turns out that if they're just bad at the game, they're bad at healing too. And like, I'm not trying to be mean here, guys. I'm just saying. Right?
Weapons Bungie has ever made. This frame deals damage like a normal auto rifle when ADS'd, but when hip-fired, it functions in a similar fashion to Lumina by sending healing bullets to your allies. And with frame-specific perks like Physic and Circle of Life, you can play a full-on support character and get rewarded with team-wide restoration and increased damage to your auto rifle in return. I know this playstyle isn't for everyone, nor is this level of support or healing always necessary in all levels of content,
not necessary.
Activities like Day 1 Vesper's Host, where you desperately needed healing in the Red Room, for example, you quickly start to understand just how good this weapon actually is.
It was nice there. Yeah, it was nice there. Unless you're Titan and you just don't need that shit.
Number 9, we have yet another brand new weapon archetype introduced with the final shape. Coming from the Salvation's Edge raid,
we knew it. We knew Nullify was going to be the list.
Burst pulse rifle that shoots 2 bullets per burst, similar to the Graviton Lance exotic. But instead of chaining void explosions, this weapon deals high damage and comes with just about every perk you could ever want on a pulse rifle.
Very good, guys.
In Column 1, you have Rapid Hit, Heal Clip, Demolitionist, and Firefly. And in Column 2,
you got to keep in mind some of the best DPS in the game.
Measures and a brand new raid
actually the best DPS in the game amongst pulse rifles.
Reshaped, which is essentially a more powerful version of Frenzy. The longer you're in combat, the more damage and self-healing this weapon does. Chaos Reshaped ×2 grants you a 35% damage bonus for simply being in combat while passively healing you in the process. The combination of this high damage archetype and great perks makes pulse rifles feel great to use again. And
this is one of the best weapons you can get from the raid. Like, really, really. I would suggest everyone, you don't have to go for like the adept version, of course. Just get the craftable roll. But yeah, this one made the list. Let me get a check mark on this. So we're gonna do this. Nullify, green check mark, and then the call didn't make the list. I've got an X on it. I know you guys can see. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. We've got an X right there. Okay, so 100 people banned for that one.
In my opinion, it is by far the most desirable piece of loot from the brand new raid. Number 8 on the list goes to one of the most iconic Destiny weapons of all time in the Mountaintop.
We didn't put it on the list.
This thing dominated the sandbox during Forsaken and took a mountain of nerfs, no pun intended, and sunsetting to finally take this thing out of the meta. Bungie would eventually reprise this weapon with Into the Light, reintroducing it to the Onslaught loot pool. Now, it may not have ridiculous Lunafaction boss melting capabilities like it did before, but it does come with extremely powerful perks that give it a place in today's sandbox, and even comes with rocket jumping tech with movement so fun that it alone would place it on this list. In terms of perks, in Column 1 we have Autoloading, Lead from Gold, and Demolitionist, and in Column 2 we have Frenzy and Recombination. My god roll of choice is definitely Autoloading and Recombination, as this synergy with powerful ability-based builds nowadays gives you a pocket delete button whenever you need it. Recombination ×10 will double Mountaintop's damage, allowing you to decimate champions and insta-kill most priority targets. With that said, powerful new archetypes of special weapons have popped up this year, which is why Mountaintop only comes in at number 8 on the list. At number 7, we have the Liturgy. This is the new hotness from episode Rev.
Fellas, our list is ass, brother. We ain't got shit. Y'all put Randy on here? Who even suggested that? God, dog it, man. Then we didn't even have Liturgy on this thing or Mountaintop.
As it rolls with some new perks that are very powerful on this double fire grenade launcher. In Column 1, we have Slideways, Rhyme Stealer, and Envious Arsenal, which either lets you top off ammo by sliding, lean heavily into damage resist and frost armor with stasis focused builds, or freely auto load this weapon during damage rotations. And in Column 2, we have
energy
clip,
feels
an
like
extremely
acid
rare
used, double
perk that
fires
is
are just
actually
weird.
the ideal pairing for all 3 perks in column 1. This allows your grenades to
I can't
slow
disagree
and
with that,
freeze
but
targets,
it does have
which is
great
not only
perks.
great against champions and mobs of enemies, it also buffs the damage of other weapons and abilities this season thanks to the artifact mod Conductive Cosmic Crystal. Pair this with the autoloading capabilities of Envious Arsenal and the fact that double shot GLs are some of the highest burst damage archetypes in the game, and you have a weapon that makes its way into almost every one of the top endgame damage rotations. Aegis recently put out a video covering the best damage rotations this season, and I'll have that linked down in the description below. And I think you'll be surprised just how often Liturgy makes an appearance. Coming in at number 6, we have an all-time fan favorite weapon going all the way back to year 1 of Destiny 2, and that is the newly reprised Midnight Coup. Like the Mountaintop, this weapon was
Who made our list? I mean, dude, guys, we have gotten one right. We made this. No, this was a joint effort. Don't say me. Don't say me. We fucking made this list. We got together. We said, hey, what are the best weapons? I took what your suggestions were. I threw them into the list. This was a group project. I mean, at this point, we just got to ban the whole stream.
Brought back with Onslaught and received a massive glow up to match the current power fantasy in Destiny. It can now roll with the extremely rare combination of Frenzy and Explosive Payload, a perk combo that made Fatebringer so highly sought after in endgame content. These are the only 2 hand cannons in the entire game that can roll this, and the fact that it's now available on a non-raid weapon makes this a highly valuable option to all players. And the crazy part is that it comes with so many other incredible perks as well.
I will say it's like literally one of my most used PvP weapons. However, I just have not been using Midnight Coup inside of PvE that much.
In column 1, you have Outlaw, Firefly, and Explosive Payload.
I have not been using that much.
You have Rampage, Kinetic Tremors, One for All, Frenzy, and Desperate Measures. But if I had to pick just one other role to go with, it would be the nasty combination of Firefly and One for All, as a single precision kill will cause a massive explosion that instantly procs One for All off surrounding enemies for an instant 35% damage bonus. And once active, this thing hits like a truck and essentially turns it into a legendary version of Sunshot. Midnight Coup is just one of those weapons that feels incredible to use and makes the list as our highest rated primary weapon this year. Kicking off our top 5, we have a brand new weapon that just recently dethroned the call for a spot on this list. This rocket sidearm unfortunately drops from Iron Banner, but is well worth the pain, as we now have a rocket sidearm that rolls with Chill Clip for insane endgame viability.
And look, I don't know what's going on this season for you guys, but Tinashe really is like, you need to get it. It's that good. Become one of my most used weapons.
Now, don't get me wrong, the call is amazing and absolutely deserves its honorable mention here due to its availability to all players. But the fact that this sidearm can intrinsically stun both Overload and Unstoppable champions, while also having a mag perk in Air Trigger that completely negates the ammo reserve nerf to rocket sidearms, it's just too good to not include on this list. Air Trigger gives a plus 30 to inventory size, granting 55 ammo in reserve compared to just 42 on other rocket sidearms. This weapon's combination of ammo economy and endgame viability gives Tinashe's mastery a well-deserved top 5 spot. At number 4, we have the Lost Signal. This weapon was the first area denial frame introduced to Destiny and has only gained value as players continue to understand and optimize prismatic builds over time. Area denial frames operate similarly to Witherhoard, producing elemental pools that linger on the ground for extended periods of time.
In my opinion, there's no better weapon in the game when it comes to filling up that transcendence meter for darkness. So Lost Signal, it's not like it does just a tremendous amount of damage. It just tops off prismatic so well, right?
These didn't get a ton of hype at first because they don't deal crazy amounts of damage, but they're solid for ad clear, and where they do shine is building Transcendence energy. Transcendence is extremely strong on all 3 characters right now and is a key factor in Prismatic dominating the meta. Because of how many enemies are taking damage from these weapons at once, nothing builds Transcendence faster. So in loadouts where you want to build your darkness meter quickly, Lost Signal is simply best in slot. It's also also the only area denial frame that comes with auto-loading holster, which makes it the ultimate utility weapon. The less you have to stop and reload, the more you can spam your abilities and have a cleaner combat flow. If you haven't tried Lost Signal just yet, I highly recommend integrating this into your loadouts because you'll dominate endgame more than ever before. Moving into our podium spots, at number 3, we have the Aberrant Action.
Dude, I will say, yes, it's good, but guys, we have so many weapons on the list that are rocket assisted sidearms, and they I mean, for good reason, right? For good reason. At what point is it like, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, at what point do we start picking up other archetypes? Because just look how many we have on just this one list of 10.
This weapon reshaped the meta when it dropped just a few months ago, thanks to its overwhelmingly powerful perk pool. First and foremost, in column 1, we have Heal Clip. This is the ultimate self-sustained perk on any weapon, but is extremely powerful.
This list sucks. Domestic Girlfriend, I don't know if I can't take you seriously, brother. You know what I mean? Like, Domestic Girlfriend is literally your name. And although I do find that favorable in terms of taste in anime, I wouldn't necessarily jump up and be like, Domestic Girlfriend, tell me your meta choices for in-game PvE. You know what I'm saying?
Powerful on rocket sidearms due to how easily they can eliminate enemies in all levels of content. It doesn't matter if you're in a Grandmaster or something like a solo dungeon, this thing will get the job done and allow you to quickly reload and sustain your health. Pair this with Incandescent in column 2, and you have the perfect combination of high damage per shot, consistent ad clear, and healing all in one. This weapon will carry you through solo content and still maintains high usage rates in the game's toughest activities. So if you're new to the game or somehow haven't used this thing just yet, trust me, you need to give it a try. At number 2, we have a weapon that unexpectedly took the community by storm, and that is the Velocity Baton. It's just the second area denial frame in the game and drops from Destiny's newest dungeon, Vesper's Host. This weapon essentially fills the same role as Lost Signal, but offers far more utility than just filling your Transcendence bar. This weapon is extremely unique because it comes with Attrition Orbs, a perk that's often overlooked on most weapon archetypes, as it requires rapid hits to spawn Orbs of Power. On the Velocity Baton, however, Attrition Orbs is absolutely god tier, as rapid ticks of damage from area denial frames allow you to generate 2 to 3 Orbs of Power per group of enemies that you kill. This means we can generate a ridiculous number of orbs for our fire team and rapidly build not only our super, but the light portion of our
Can I just say this though? The fucker won't drop for me with Attrition Orbs. All right, you know, I don't know how for everybody else, but the damn thing still won't drop for me. I mean, I've got a couple decently rolls, but Attrition Orbs just non-dropping. That gets nerfed 100%. You think so? You think that's gonna get nerfed? You're telling me spawning 300 orbs in 60 seconds is somehow broken? Come on.
Transcendence bar as well.
Crafting would have fixed that.
It also overtakes the Lost Signal due to the evolution of endgame prismatic builds. For example, it was recently discovered that shattering a Glacier Nade on just 2 enemies will nearly fill the entire darkness portion of your Transcendence bar. This means Velocity Baton becomes the obvious choice to build light energy with Consecration, which is the most dominant subclass in the game right now. This also works perfectly with the highly powerful Mask of Fealty and Getaway Artist builds, as darkness energy is easily produced with them, making Velocity Baton a top tier pick once again. If you haven't farmed this weapon just yet, I highly recommend you do so, as it's easily one of the most game-changing weapons of 2024. And finally, at number 1, we have the Chill Inhibitor.
Dude, isn't it crazy though, like how good the weapons are? Like, so, you know, especially like in this particular season. Like the weapons that dropped, you know, say what you want about Revenants. I'm not really that crazy about the story. The vampire thing was kind of lost too on me, but the weapons were banging. I mean, we just need something to kill it with. Or kill things with.
So many powerful grenade launchers over the years, including the Wendigo,
Just the weapons that banged?
Edge Transit, and Bittersweet. But with the recent changes...
You mean the dungeon? No, Tinashe is from Ironbender. You know what I mean? The loot, so the loot is actually good. And so we need more content to go and use it.
To rapid fire grenade launchers, nerfs to perks like Envious Assassin, auto-loading holster and reconstruction, and the introduction of new perks such as Envious Arsenal, Chill Inhibitor now reigns as the best heavy grenade launcher in all of Destiny 2. Rapid fires have significantly higher damage output than other archetypes, as they shoot 25% faster and have 30% more ammo in reserve. And on top of this, Chill Inhibitor comes with 2 of the best damage perks in the game right now, with Envious Arsenal in column 1 and Bait and Switch in column 2. These perks synergize perfectly with one another, as each time you tag a boss with all 3 weapons in your loadout, you'll instantly autoload this weapon from reserves and gain a 30% damage bonus in the process. With that said, an honorable mention does go to the Bittersweet here, as it comes with the same god roll as Chill Inhibitor, but suffers from being a slightly less optimal archetype. With that said, if something like Pantheon with weekly surges rolls around again, you'll want to have both of these weapons in your arsenal to absolutely annihilate.
What a great point. Y'all remember earlier this year when Pantheon rolled around and we had certain surges? I mean, dude, for the first time ever, I was like, dude, I need a Wendigo. I need a Wendigo god roll. And we actually had a god roll of Wendigo. But not everyone kept it. Everybody was like, no, we'll be fine with just Edge Transit. You know what I mean?
Raid bosses.
I really want Pantheon to come back.
Have it.
It's going to come back.
10 weapons of 2024.
I'm almost certain it's going to come back.
If your favorite weapon didn't quite make the list, be sure to let me know why you think it deserves a spot down in the comments below. Anyways, guys,
great
I
list
hope you enjoyed the video.
Fantastic video. Guys, please go over here, drop some love, subscribe to this man. And as far as our list goes, we got Chill and Hibbrite. We got Velocity Baton. So the things that we did not get, no Edge Transits, surprising. But I understand Chill is kind of overtaking Edge. No Randy, no multi-mock. All right, so listen, here's the thing. The call we should have known. Hold on, let me back up. The call we should have known that wasn't going to be on the list. We knew Tinashe had overtaken the call. Edge Transit, we could have concluded that Chill had overtaken Edge here. Multi-mock and Randy. All right, I'm gonna say that these two were on me, because I know that I was the one that was pushing for these two, and that's specific because I think they're the best weapons for taking on champions with that that under-over kinetic tremor roll. But I will say that was a more personal push, so I'll take that one on the chin. So mods, don't ban 100 people for each of these. Just ban 50. We'll group this together. So multi-mock Randy, 50 people. Edge Transit, 100 people. And then the call, another 100 people. So about around 250. Around 250 people. So mods, if you can go through, just start banning anyone who's free to play. Give me around 250 bodies. But no, honestly, that was a great list. And listen, again, I know that, the content in Destiny may not be what you want it to be right now. And they need to do a lot of things to fix the content rollout going into the future. And the episodes just ain't hidden, man. Hopefully Heresy hits, but we'll see. And I mean, that's still not taking into account of what Frontiers is supposed to be. With that being said, the weapons have been banging. And I think that's the other problem too. It's like we have all these banging weapons. We have this arsenal of weapons here that above just went over, and they are really, really good weapons. However, outside of people that are just trying to optimize and stuff like that, it doesn't feel like we're really needing such a strong arsenal right now with the Witness being dealt with and gone. You know what I mean? Whereas like when the Brave Arsenal and Into the Light first came out, we were all like, anything that can give us 1-2% of an edge, you know what I mean? We will work for, try to get. And then the other side of things is, I think more shiny variants of weapons, if that's going to be a route going forward. And that's an entire video in itself. If RNG is going to continue to be a push that Bungie wants to make, we need physical shiny variants of weapons. It needs to look like, how Hammerhead, Midnight Coup, and Mountaintop and others look differently than their base counterparts. But I don't know. After this season, guys, it's almost like people want to just continue doing weapon crafting. Can we get a poll on that? Which do you prefer? RNG or weapon crafting? Crafting for seasonal weapons, RNG for everything else? Oh, man. Oh, at the beginning of the year, we're going to talk about Destiny, dude, because after playing Path of Exile, Destiny feels outdated, brother. The system could be better. I want more classes. I want a mercenary. I want a Titan. I want a Warlock. I want a Necromancer. I want Nokris. I want to be able to look at Nokris and be like, you know what? I'm rolling balls deep with Nokris today. I'm going to go in. I'm going to have my Necro thing going on. I'm going to piss Daddy Oryx off, and I am going to raise beings from the dead. And look, I want a skill tree that takes up the whole screen of all the abilities. And you got one lane that's like solar, another lane that's stasis, and you know where I'm coming from? And then all with different unique abilities. If I want to be a Titan, but I want an Icarus dash on my Titan, I can do that. I just need a spec for that tree. If I want to be a hunter, but I want to raise things from the dead, I can do that too. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's a way. Just play Path of Exile too. Look. This is the path going forward. Honestly, what Sony and Bungie should do right now is literally poach Path of Exile devs and then have them come cook for Destiny 2. And at this point, it'd be a Destiny 3. You know what I mean? This is so much code. I mean, look, do you guys want to just keep playing? I mean, are you guys... I mean, this is the system that you can have for the next 10 years. Y'all want this for the next 10 years? I'm not saying it's bad. It's all right. It gets the job done. Cross crashing out. What y'all talking about, man? What are y'all talking? Look. Big skill trees are sexy. All right? Making that guy... And look. Does anyone here really think Path of Exile is overly complicated? Does anyone here feel like PoE 2 is overly complicated? Like it's too difficult, too much. I feel like the game does a very good job of bringing you in, you know what I mean? Letting you try out some stuff, get a little better, introducing you into the different skills. You know what I mean? You know what we need? You know what the most complex thing inside of Destiny? The most complex thing inside of Destiny is finding shit. That's the most complex thing inside of Destiny. Because things have been sunset inside of Destiny. When someone comes to me and says, how do I get bad juju? I wish I can look at them and say, oh, you got to unlock the tribute hall. You then have to do the quests, open up the portal, you do the bad juju exotic quest mission. No. Matter of fact, if someone Googled right now on how to get bad juju, that's what would pop up for them. They would be like, where is this shit? Where is all this shit? Stuff is not even in the fucking game. None of that stuff should have been removed. There needs to be a tab somewhere around here that you hit that tab and it's all the exotic quests in a row. All of them, every single one of them from start to finish, even the ones that were removed. Now what we tell people when there was like, hey, how do I get a certain weapon? Go to the kiosk. Wow. So exciting. Wow, this is so much fun. Okay. I just have to go get some ciphers. This right here, this is Wami game. Don't have to worry about going and doing any of the bullshit. You could just come over here and you see where I'm coming from? You see where I'm coming from, guys? Destiny 3 is the only way. That's been the argument this past weekend on Twitter, if y'all looked, or X, whatever. Destiny 3 was trending, and everybody was bringing up why Destiny 3 should be a thing. The reality is, man, it's like, you know how long it would take to cook up a D3 at this point, you know? It's not that I don't want it to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. Destiny 3 should have been, like, from the moment Sony began conversations about acquiring Bungie, D3 should have been a part of that conversation. For $3.6 billion? Yeah, I would think it would be a part of that conversation.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.